The old man's name was Henry. He was a fixture on the corner of Elm and Fifth, a silent silhouette against the bustling city backdrop. His days were etched in hardship, nights a symphony of sirens and loneliness. Hunger was a familiar ache, hope a flickering candle in the wind. Henry had known better days, a time before life had dealt him a cruel hand. Now his possessions fit in a tattered backpack, his dreams tucked away like faded photographs. Each day was a struggle for survival, a testament to human resilience in the face of despair. Yet even in his darkest hours, Henry clung to a simple truth. Kindness mattered. A smile, a kind word, a moment of shared humanity. These small acts of grace were his lifeline, reminding him that even in the depths of despair, hope could still bloom. The afternoon sun beat down on the city, casting long shadows across the sidewalk. Henry sat beneath the awning of a closed bookstore, seeking refuge from the oppressive heat. The usual cacophony of city life swirled around him. Car horns, the rumble of buses, the distant wail of a siren. Suddenly, a commotion across the street caught his eye. A crowd was gathering, their voices a mixture of excitement and alarm. Henry strained to see through the throng, his curiosity piqued. It was unusual to see such a stir in the middle of the day. As he watched, a sleek black car pulled up and a figure emerged. Even from across the street, Henry recognized the man instantly. Jeff Bezos, the billionaire CEO. A frisson of surprise shot through him. What was someone like that doing in this part of town? The crowd surged forward, a wave of cameras and outstretched hands. Jeff Bezos, momentarily caught off guard, smiled politely, trying to navigate the throng. Security personnel struggled to keep pace, forming a protective barrier around him. In that instant, a figure darted from the alleyway across the street. It was a young man, his face contorted with anger, his hand gripping something concealed within his jacket. He charged towards Bezos, his movements fueled by a desperate, volatile energy. Time seemed to slow down. Henry watched, his heart pounding in his chest, as the scene unfolded before him. He knew instinctively that something was terribly wrong. The look in the young man's eyes sent a chill down his spine. It was the look of desperation, of someone pushed to the brink. Without a moment's hesitation, Henry sprang to his feet. He didn't think, didn't analyze. Something within him, some primal instinct to protect, took over. He moved with a speed he didn't know he possessed, adrenaline coursing through his veins. He reached the young man just as he was about to reach Bezos, his momentum carrying them both into the crowd. There was a collective gasp, a surge of panic as people scrambled to get out of the way. The impact knocked the wind out of Henry, but he held on tight, his grip like iron. He wrestled the young man to the ground, pinning his arms behind his back. He could feel the young man's chest heaving, hear the raw anger in his muffled shouts. Security guards finally reached them, pulling the struggling young man away. As order returned to the street, Henry sat there, catching his breath, his heart still pounding in his chest. He had acted on instinct, driven by a force he couldn't quite explain. Jeff Bezos, visibly shaken but unharmed, approached Henry. His eyes met the old man's, and for a moment the gulf between them, the chasm of wealth and circumstance, seemed to vanish. All that remained was a shared experience, a silent acknowledgement of the fragility of life. "Thank you," Bezos said, his voice husky with emotion. "You saved my life." He reached out and clasped Henry's hand, his grip firm and sincere. "I don't know how to ever repay you." Section 6. A Life Transformed. The next morning, Henry woke up to a knock on the door of a hotel room. The events of the previous day were still fresh in his mind, and he felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. Confused, he answered it to find a man in a suit standing in the hallway. The man looked official, almost like he was on a mission. "Mr. Henry?" the man inquired politely. His tone was respectful, yet there was an urgency in his voice that Henry couldn't ignore. "Mr. Bezos would like to see you. He said it's urgent." The words hung in the air, heavy with significance. Henry couldn't believe his ears. Jeff Bezos, one of the most powerful men in the world, wanted to see him again. It was surreal. Why would Jeff Bezos want to see him again? The question echoed in his mind, creating a whirlwind of thoughts and possibilities. He followed the man down the plush hallway of the hotel, his mind racing with questions. The opulence of the surroundings only added to his sense of disbelief. He was led into a luxurious suite, the likes of which he had only seen in movies. The room was adorned with elegant furniture and breathtaking views. Jeff Bezos rose from a chair as Henry entered, his face etched with a sincerity that surprised the old man. It was a side of Bezos that the public rarely saw. "Please, sit down, Henry." Bezos gestured to the sofa. His voice was calm, yet there was an underlying intensity that made Henry's heart race. "I wanted to thank you again, properly this time." Bezos's eyes were filled with gratitude, a rare emotion for a man of his stature. "You risked your life for me yesterday." The weight of those words settled in the room, making Henry realize the gravity of his actions. Henry reflected on the events that had led him here. It had been a whirlwind of emotions, decisions, and actions that had changed his life forever. As they shook hands, Henry felt a sense of closure. This meeting was not just about gratitude. It was about acknowledging the profound impact of their encounter. As he walked out of the hotel, Henry knew that his life had been transformed in ways he could never have imagined. The future was uncertain, but he felt ready to face it. Section 7. The Gift of Kindness. Henry sat down, feeling out of place amidst the opulence of the room. "It was nothing, sir," he mumbled, looking down at his worn hands. "Anyone would have done the same." Bezos smiled gently. "I don't believe that for a second, Henry. You have a rare kind of courage. You acted without thinking of yourself, and for that, I am eternally grateful." He paused, his gaze softening. "I know this might not mean much," he continued, "but I want to help you get back on your feet. Consider it a small token of my appreciation for your extraordinary act of kindness." Bezos then handed Henry a check. Henry stared at it, his heart skipping a beat. The amount on the check was more money than he had ever seen in his life. It was enough to change everything. Section 8. A New Beginning. True to his word, Jeff Bezos helped Henry turn his life around. It wasn't just a simple gesture, it was a commitment to seeing Henry succeed. Jeff provided not only financial support, but also mentorship and guidance, helping Henry navigate the complexities of rebuilding his life. He provided him with access to resources and support that he could only have dreamed of before. This included connections to community support services that offered everything from job training to legal assistance, ensuring Henry had a solid foundation to build upon. Henry found a comfortable apartment, a place he could finally call home. It was more than just a roof over his head. It was a sanctuary where he could start anew, free from the shadows of his past. He received medical attention for long-neglected ailments, addressing health issues that had plagued him for years. Regular checkups and treatments became a part of his new routine, contributing to his overall well-being, and even began attending counseling to address the trauma of his past. These sessions were crucial in helping him process his experiences and develop coping mechanisms, allowing him to move forward with a clearer mind and a lighter heart. For the first time in years, Henry had hope. This newfound optimism was a powerful force, driving him to set goals and dream of a brighter future. He embraced the second chance at life with a newfound appreciation for the kindness of strangers. He began to see the world through a different lens, one where compassion and empathy were the cornerstones of human connection. He realized that even in the darkest of times, a single act of compassion could have a ripple effect, transforming lives in ways both big and small. This understanding became a guiding principle in his life, influencing his actions and decisions. He never forgot the events of that day, the fear, the adrenaline, and the overwhelming sense of gratitude he felt towards the man who had saved him. These memories were etched into his mind, serving as a constant reminder of how far he had come. The fear, the adrenaline, and the overwhelming sense of gratitude he felt towards the man who had saved him. These emotions were a testament to the profound impact that moment had on his life, and the overwhelming sense of gratitude he felt towards the man who had saved him. This gratitude was not just a fleeting emotion, it was a deep-seated appreciation that fueled his desire to give back. He knew that his life would never be the same, and he vowed to honor the gift he had been given by paying it forward. This promise became his mission, guiding him as he rebuilt his life. He vowed to honor the gift he had been given by paying it forward, by spreading kindness wherever he went. He became an active member of his community, volunteering his time and resources to help those in need. By spreading kindness wherever he went, he created a legacy of compassion and generosity. His story became an inspiration to others, proving that even in the face of adversity, one can rise and make a difference. Section 9. Hope Springs Eternal. The story of Henry, the homeless man who saved Jeff Bezos, became a tale whispered on street corners and shared in hushed tones. It was a story that transcended the boundaries of social class and economic status, resonating deeply with everyone who heard it. People from all walks of life found inspiration in Henry's selfless act, a reminder that true heroism often comes from the most unexpected places. It served as a reminder that even in a world often defined by indifference and self-interest, compassion still had the power to shine through. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, could ripple outwards, creating waves of positive change. The city, once seen as a cold and unfeeling place, began to transform in the eyes of its inhabitants. They started to see the potential for goodness in every corner, in every face they passed by. Henry's story became a beacon of hope, illustrating the profound impact that even the smallest acts of kindness can have. It showed that everyone, regardless of their circumstances, had the power to make a difference. The community rallied around Henry, offering him support and opportunities he had never dreamed of. His journey from despair to purpose became a symbol of what could be achieved when people came together with open hearts. It served as a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who, even when faced with adversity, choose to lead with love and empathy. The city was no longer just a collection of buildings and streets. It was a living, breathing community bound together by shared humanity. Stories of kindness began to emerge from every corner, each one adding to the growing tapestry of hope and resilience. And so the cycle continued. Each act of kindness inspired another, creating an unbreakable chain of goodwill. The city thrived on this newfound sense of unity and purpose, proving that even in the most challenging times, hope could spring eternal. The once invisible threads of compassion and empathy became the very fabric that held the community together. Kindness begetting kindness, hope blossoming in the most unexpected of places. The city, once shrouded in shadows, now glowed with the light of countless acts of generosity. It was a testament to the power of the human spirit, a reminder that no matter how dark the times, there was always a glimmer of light waiting to be found. Henry, once lost in the shadows of the city, had found his purpose, proving that even in the heart of darkness, even in the depths of despair, the human spirit, much like a flickering candle in the wind, could still light the way. His story was a beacon, guiding others out of their own darkness and into the light of hope and possibility. It was a powerful reminder that no matter how small the flame, it could still illuminate the path forward.